What's going on, Orion's Belt, or Constellations, whichever. I'm trying to think of a name to give you guys for your fandom or whatever. Not that there's a lot of you to give a name to, but, whatever. Before we begin, um, Spider-Man slippers, they're pretty cool. They're comfortable. So there's that. Um, Also a portable Sega Genesis I got recently. It's pretty cool. It's got Sonic and Kid Chameleon, which is a reference from Scott Pilgrim, so it goes together. Um, uh, yeah, a couple things. Just a few, complaints in general, I guess, of people and fandoms and stuff. Um, so, first off, I don't know if you guys go on the internet and you see, pictures of, clown type people, like Pennywise or some other clown person. I don't know, John Wayne Gacy, I guess, whatever. And they're with Harley Quinn, So it's got Harley Quinn and another clown character. And then the caption is always "Oh, the Joker's gonna be mad," but I don't know. It kind of bugs me because it's to me, the Joker doesn't really care about Harley Quinn. I got into a little bit of an argument about that with my art teacher, and I don't know. I just feel like the Joker thinks Harley Quinn is sort of expendable. In my opinion, I don't know. That's just the way I see it, because to me, he can hire a bunch of goons. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. If you want to, tell me what you think about my opinion, then go ahead down below, as long as you're not a total jerkwad. We're good. Also, I think it sort of died down a little bit, but the whole Rick and Morty fandom thing, that's kind of stupid too, because it's I don't know if you've seen that either, but they always, they're oh, Rick and Morty is for the smartest people in the world. But that's kind of stupid, because now I may have missed a couple jokes or whatever, but from what I know about Rick and Morty, from what I've seen, because I've seen the third season, the first season, I've missed a lot of the second season, but from what I've seen anyway, they just there isn't a whole lot of science related jokes or anything. There's no math puns or science jokes or hidden references to anything scientific. And from what I looked up, I don't think either Dan Harmon or crap, I forgot the other's name. Dan Harmon or the other guy, Justin Roiland, have a PhD. Now, my main argument with that would be Futurama, because Futurama has writers. Some of their writers have PhDs, and they're super smart people, and they actually have science references in the show. But you don't see a lot of people being Futurama's for smart people. Like Rick and Morty, all it is existentialism and religion and philosophy and some pop culture jokes, but that's all it really is philosophy, really. So yeah, that's just a little stuff to, I don't know, get my opinion out there. And yeah, I know I've been gone for a couple weeks and I've missed Riverdale, which I'll probably actually have to rewatch Riverdale because I forgot what happened in the past two episodes I've seen. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I just, didn't feel like recording a video for 2 weeks. Sorry. Anyway, we have Volume 6. I got Friday, finished it. And that'll be coming soon after this one. After Riverdale, too. Maybe before Riverdale, because, Scott Pilgrim's more important than Riverdale. Obviously. Sarcasm. So, Scott Pilgrim, Volume 5. Now, a little bit of a complaint with the covers I was thinking about. I don't know if you've seen all the books or anything. Hopefully you have, because I should have showed them off, hopefully. But Volume 1, it has Scott on it. Volume 2 has Knives. Volume 3 has Envy. Volume 4 has Wallace. 5 has Kim, as you can see right here. And Volume 6 has Ramona. Now, one of those things is not like the other. In my opinion, I think they should have taken out Wallace on Volume 4 and put Lisa Miller. Because if you think about it, she's more important in Volume 4 than Wallace is. I mean, and I think that would go better as a whole if you put them all together in a row, because then you have Scott and then his ex-girlfriend and then his total jerk of an ex-girlfriend and then the girl that liked him and he didn't reciprocate and then the girl he broke up with and then his current girlfriend. I think that would just go better as a whole sort of thing. But that's just my opinion on how they should have done it. But they didn't, so whatever. Yeah. Also, another complaint I have about myself. I have these, but I found on Amazon they have the actual wristbands. I'm disappointed. I just wasted 6 minutes of the video. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Anyway, but Volume 5. This is I don't know, it's a good volume. I like it a lot. So far, like I've said before, Volume 2 is definitely the worst volume in my opinion. This one I think is probably the skinniest maybe out of all of them. Yeah. It's about the skinniest. I think, sorry about that. I was just comparing books. And yeah, they're it's about the smallest. Volume 3 and, well, Volume 4 and 5 are about the smallest. Anyway, I just keep wasting time, don't I? Both Volume 5, I think it's pretty good because Scott and Ramona have just moved in together and now we're up against the twins. Now, before we get into everything big, sorry about that. I almost feel like the movie is better with the twins than the book. Not as character-wise, because the book definitely has more of them speaking, and they do more in the book than in the movie, of course. But I feel like the fight was much cooler in the movie because there was a giant battle of the bands, and there was the dragon and the yeti, and it was cool, and yeah. But with this, we have Scott and Ramona at a Day of the Dead party at Julie's new apartment, and Scott and Ramona are kind of oh, everything sucks, this sucks, I just don't like parties anymore. And then it's kind of funny because they're talking about parties, of course, all these themed parties, they're stupid. And then, Ramona's oh yeah, that one was Halloween, so I think, they're just, they're talking about, oh, the Halloween party sucked, and Scott's wait, what kind of party is this? And then she's it's my Mexican Day of the Dead party, you retard. I thought it was kind of funny, because, there's, skulls and bats and stuff, and Scott's I thought this was a Halloween party, but it's, what the heck's going on? So anyway, yeah, there's that. Scott and Ramona are just sort of, being themselves, and they're hanging out. And then Ramona is hold that thought, I see ex-boyfriends. And then Scott's plural, what's going on here? And then we have Kyle and Ken. Of course, that's their names. They're part of the book. There you go. And then they're sort of talking. Ramona goes up and says what are you guys doing here? You guys suck. And then they're stupid basically. I think they're kind of stupid because Ken's oh, are you Spot Pilgrim? And then they're like, it's not even a name for a person, it's like a name for a dog. Anyway, they make their jokes, and then Ken and Kyle. See, that's the thing about them, is they don't actually really fight Scott. They just they send a robot out to fight Scott, and then yeah, they send the robot, and Scott fights the robot, and Ramona and Kim sort of go out on the balcony and talk for a little bit, and apparently Ramona has a phone. That just sort of happens. So yeah. Ramona and Kim are just sort of talking, like, blah, blah, blah. And then Knives and Steven are talking about Scott. Like, I don't know why you like Scott, because Scott's sort of a jerk. He, like, cheated on you and stuff. And then she's like, but I love him. He's fine. But yeah. And then she's like, well, what about Ramona? Does Ramona know? And then Steven just drinks his beer. And then Scott beats the robot, and he's like, woohoo! And then they go home, and Scott is eating breakfast, and then Ramona leaves to do some chores and errands and stuff. And then Scott basically spends the whole day playing video games on his phone, or on Ramona's phone. Which is one of the things I love about Scott Pilgrim, is he just, I don't know. I think Scott's, like, so relatable, because he, like, he just, like, spends the whole day on his phone, and he, like, sleeps until noon, and he dreams about playing video games. Like, it's just I think it's kind of relatable, sort of. So yeah, he spends the whole day playing video games, and then there's a bit of, like, I don't know, they make dinner, and then we go to Kim's house, and they're still recording their album, or whatever it is, producing an album. And then, Scott's complaining, of course, because it's ridiculous. And then they are playing a little bit in Kim's room. They start playing because they get kicked out of the producing room. And there's a little bit of Knives talking to her friend. What's her name again? I forget. Tamara? We'll say it's Tamara. I'm not sure what it is. But, yeah, this volume, Ramona is definitely weird, because she's in the dressing room, and she's, like, getting dressed and whatnot. You can see that very well, but you probably can't. And Scott's talking to her about X-Men for some reason. I'm not sure what it is, because I'm not, like, I want to say it's, like, the Executioner's song or whatever. We find out that Ramona doesn't like Scott's band. Scott and Sex Bomb go and play a gig, although it turns out to be a setup from Ken and Kyle. And a robot attacks Scott. And then, when they're playing their set, Ramona is in the bathroom, and she's, like, putting on mascara. And Knives is in the bathroom with her, and she's like, you suck, I hate you. And then they fight, I guess it's not like a fight, it's more like a tussle, if you will. There's, like, a few waves and kicks exchanged, but not a whole big fight. But then Knives says, hey, Scott cheated on both of us, and he sucks. And, yeah. And then Ramona is, of course, taken back by that. And then, of course, Scott beats the robots. And then after the gig, Scott forgets his keys, and Ramona's like, you know what, you're getting kicked out of the house for a little bit. So, yeah. Yeah, you're getting kicked out of the house. So then he hangs out with Wallace, for a little bit. Like you do when your girlfriend kicks you out. And then he hangs out with Kim for a little bit and lives with her. Not lives with her, but like sleeps over or whatever. And then we have, he like sort of tries to like nudge Ramona into letting him back in. Like he has Kim go meet up with Ramona, and then he's like, Kim Pine, what are you doing here? Ramona, what a weird coincidence, that sort of thing. And he tries to get her to like let him back into the house and everything. So yeah. And then Kim sort of is like, what's wrong with your head? Because again, there's the thing of her glowing head. If you don't remember in like Volume 2 and Volume 1, her head's sort of glowing and weird. Yeah. And then they go to another party. Of course. And then there's another robot. And then Scott fights another robot. And Ramona's kind of like angry about like, because her head's messing up and everything. So yeah. Scott keeps fighting the robot, and Ramona and Kim are getting drunk together. And then she ends up getting, and then they leave the party and Kim goes her separate way. Scott and Ramona sort of, I assume they have sex, but I'm not sure. Because it's blacked out, so I'm assuming that's like a synonym of sex or something. I don't know. So yeah. But then Ramona's like, hey, you like cheated on me? I'm a little ticked. And then Scott's like, I'm really sorry about that. I've been trying to forget it, and I know I suck. Because, if you cheat on people, that's pretty sucky, So, he's like, what the heck? But then, Kim, of course, is kidnapped, like I said earlier. So, Scott goes and fights them. And then, the twins are sort of like lying to Scott. Maybe they're not. Like, oh, Ramona cheated on both of us, and we hate her, and she sucks. And then Scott's sort of like losing his endurance, like he's losing his hope, his willpower to fight. But then Kim sort of lies to Scott and says like, Ramona loves you, she wants you back and everything. Back in the house anyway, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, like, she believes in you and she can't wait for you to get home. So that gives him the willpower to beat the twins, and he beats the twins. And then the coins go everywhere like they do when you beat a bad guy in the video game. And then he gets home to see Ramona, and then she vanishes, and she's gone. And then Scott loses the cat, and he accidentally locks himself out of the house. And then he basically just spends like the rest of the volume sort of like depressed and like sleeping with his friends. Like goes over to Steven, and he sleeps over at Steven's house. And then Kim moves away back to her hometown. He tries to get the cat back, but the cat's gone. He tries to go talk to Wallace to get some help, and he sees Mobile, Wallace's boyfriend. And yeah, he gets an apartment at his parents pay for. And then Gideon calls. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.